Knights, behold, episode 15 of the DFO Account Daily series. And guys, it has been 4 years. I checked it myself. 4 years since the last time I made one of these. And basically how it works, guys, is I like to chronicle dailies that you do during the caps of various updates and stuff. And I have not done any for this cap, sadly. I totally forgot about the series, to be honest. But guys, Happy New Year. I want to start the year off fresh with just a showcase of my account, as well as things that you could still be doing in preparation for the next level cap that is coming up soon, guys. We are at the end of 110 cap, kind of at the tail end, and man, a lot has changed in the game, and a lot here is going to be coming for the game, of course, changes as well. And there are some things that you can do to prepare for that change. I know a lot of people are not really that active in the game right now because they're kind of waiting for that new update. You know, of course, anytime there's a new level cap, you're going to have that sentiment of like, well, I'm kind of wasting my time doing any kind of the content. Just for future reference, guys, this is after they release the Moo Hard raid, which honestly is not that hard to be completely honest with you. So try it out yourself if you guys are that level. But if not, guys, I think one thing you should be playing DFO for now is to prepare for the next level cap. And that's kind of how I've been approaching the game as of late. I haven't been as active as I have in the past, but I am still playing very actively in terms of preparing for the next cap. So one thing that you're going to want to do, guys, is this NPC was added recently, and she has an awesome shop. Highly recommend that you guys focus on getting these right here 3 times a month, as well as trying to get yourself this enchant for your main characters, because it is a best in slot enchant. It's kind of preparing you for the next level cap, and it's something that has never existed before. Percentage damage on your top, as well as some really high stats for your buffers as well. So effectively what that means is if you're trying to prepare for the next cap, guys, this is your main NPC, and these are the 2 items I highly suggest. This is best in slot swap gear if you don't have it already. It's very expensive, very hard to get. You can get 3 pieces a month, including the weapon, so I highly suggest getting that. And then, of course, the best in slot enchant. But we're going to be covering pretty much everything I recommend doing daily, as well as weekly if you're preparing for the next level cap, guys. The very first thing, I talk about this a lot, but basically your daily mission. You want to do your daily mission. You'll see that my quests right now, some of them can be completed in town, and I can do this, but effectively what I got 1 free run of hell mode. What I recommend is running 2 runs of hell mode, and of course now our new hell mode is the Asrahan library, and just run this twice on every character that that you can or that you want to. There's multiple reasons why this is a good idea, mainly because if you see on the top left, you can kind of see there is a limitation on the coins that you can get every see right there, 152. I think you can get up to 400 coins a week, and you get the coins from the hell mode. So you guys can see, well, I actually didn't get any there, but you can get some coins from the hell mode. You obviously are claiming the mission. You get some pale miss, which is also yet another resource that you're going to need in the next level cap, sort of. What you can do is trade your pale miss in for this box right here, which is effectively the equivalent of epic souls. You guys can see you can pick up an epic here and disassemble it at the NPC and get not only an epic soul, but you also get cubes as well, and a ton of them. So that's kind of my, you can see 300 cubes right there for just for farming a little bit of pale miss, as well as the hell mode itself can drop epics, get some cubes that way. And then you can see you can start building your stockpile of epic souls, because we already know that in the next level cap, epic souls are going to be a transfer item that you can use to farm the new hell mode. We're not exactly sure on the exchange rate. I've heard 15, I've heard 50, I've heard all different kinds of numbers. So just know that we can transfer epic souls to the new epic farming material. And so if you want to build a stockpile of epic souls, that's one great way to do it. Run 2 runs of hell mode, and then of course just switch to your next character. Do that on every character that can access that area. Let me check what the fame requirement is. 51k. So if your character has about 52k fame, you'll notice that your daily will change into one that will have the Asrahan free ticket. And then of course, don't forget, you want to change your quest to ones that can be completed. These 2 can be completed within those 2 free runs, or not free, but those 2 runs of hell modes that you're going to be able to run. And you know, should be really easy to beat if you are at this level. And you can see there's the 2 coins that you can that I just farmed right there. It is an RNG thing, of course, but really easy to do. There's an epic drop right there, so I can disassemble that. Another thing that you might want to, you guys can see right here, I actually got a piece to drop that was cursed yesterday from the Mediator of Balance. And if you're trying to prepare for the next level cap, you can also farm cursed gear by farming hell modes and stuff. So there's a lot of reasons why you want to keep doing hell modes, even if you don't want to try to get better gear. Like the gear I'm wearing right now on this guy is just some like meme on hit stuff. But maybe you want to get some curse gear. So you guys can see all my characters have a bunch of curses on them, and they are amped. So but of course you need to have an amp, either an amp grimoire or get some curse gears to drop. Yet another reason why you want to farm this hell mode. And boom, boom, boom. And of course by doing that, I'm also building a small stockpile of pale mist as well. So yeah, that's the one main daily I want to talk about, because I always talk about it. It's something that's super efficient. Effectively, you can look at every one of these characters as having a free run of hell mode if I wanted to. Like any one of these guys I could just sign into and do that on, and it's really efficient. But let's talk about some other dailies aside from that. I don't want to spend this whole video just doing that, but you guys can see I'm going to do the same thing. That's the first thing I do when I sign in. Click this button, click this here, and then start. There are some other dailies that I do recommend, and that's here in the Valley of the Fallen Souls. A lot of you guys might have forgotten this area. 2 things I like doing in here. First and foremost, guys, pit. Okay, 3 characters per day can go into the first pit. Okay, I recommend the first pit because the first 4, or I guess rooms before the boss room, actually drop, you guys can see they are dropping white items. So every room that I'm doing here drops white items. Now, I pretty much leave at this room, but you'll see if I go into this next room and kill the boss, he stops dropping white items and starts dropping the sky fragment, which is not useful at all in this cap. It's actually a waste to pick that up. But you do get a bunch of white items from this. Actually, you guys can see they mail these white items to you. And look at that. You got a white and blue items. You can sell them to the disassembler, or I like just actually disassembling them. You guys can see you can get a pretty sizable amount of cubes by just doing that. It took literally, what, 20 seconds? Got a whole bunch of souls, got a whole bunch of cubes. I still recommend doing this on 3 characters per account. And then the other thing I recommend still doing is the Spirit Heaven on hard difficulty. And the reason for that is this is more of a, has no like well, I won't say that. It has a couple benefits, but it's all cosmetics, okay? So the whole reason you farm this dungeon is because you can get items in here from the reward at the end that you can't really get in the game anymore. They've deleted a lot of the items in the game, and this is pretty much the only way that you can still get them. So this is an old feature, and in fact all of the dungeons here in the Valley of the Fallen Souls are old. But you just kill the bosses, just kill the enemies. Right now you can pretty much basic attack everything to death. It took 30 seconds, and then you guys can see we get some of these spiritual residues as well as some soul pots. Sometimes it could be epics, but those soul pots, when you open them, can give you an untradeable item that has a look that pretty much you can't find anymore. So you guys can see I got this epic sheep's hand, and look, it's a little knuckle right there. But the cool thing about this is that those epics, even though they are just for cosmetics, they really have no stats to them. They are just for cosmetics, the spirit epics. They still actually do have the epic soul within them. So the whatever rarity of item that you get, still get fragments, you can still get the epic soul. So if you don't like the look of the item that you get in there, you can just disassemble it, and it's still worth an actual item's worth of stuff. So it is still worth doing that, although there are a lot of useful epics, especially a lot of cool ones that you can see, old gear that you might want to like take the look from, like this hammer that I have right now is something that is an old legendary that you can get. That's something that you can kind of steal the look from, and then it's all cosmetic. So if you want any old gear that doesn't exist anymore, guys, Spirit Heaven is the way to do it. So but yeah, I like Valley of the Fallen Soul. It's pretty nice daily type stuff that you can do and should be doing, because it takes like literally seconds to do. Aside from that, guys, let's look at the channel real quick, and let's go over some things that I think are still really worthwhile to do. First, I want to talk about the codename Gaebolg. They've changed this dungeon a lot, and then what they're going to do, they're going to remove this in 100 or the next level cap. Once this level cap ends, they're going to be removing the Gaebolg dungeon. Now, they have changed this dungeon since probably the last time you guys have done it. And the reason that you do Gaebolg, there's only one reason, guys, and it all has to do with your Explorer Club. If you go over to the Insignia tab, all of this is Gaebolg stuff, okay? So you get your Insignia, the upgrades materials, and then reinforcing it. Basically, mine is already maxed out. I already have the max level Insignia, and I have reinforced it as high as you can. But I still want to do this to showcase how easy it is and how much it has changed. But I want to mention this now because they're going to be changing this system. They're not getting rid of the Insignia system, but they are removing Codename Gaebolg. So they're going to be replacing it with some other new system. And who's to say if that new system is easier or worse than Codename Gaebolg? Because right now it's really, really easy. You guys can see, before when they released this content, it used to be like 3 or 4 characters per week to do this content. Now it's only 1. And the dungeon itself is actually a lot easier as well. I guess I'm going to go onto here. You guys can see 47k fame is recommended. We're already talking at the end of this level cap. We're already nearly 60, 65k fame. So we are way over geared for this stuff. And of course, DFO knows that, so they've kind of simplified a lot of the content. A lot of the bosses, you can skip phases, especially on the final boss. It just kind of skips to the end phase. And you also get a lot more, I've noticed, a lot more like epic buffs, okay? So it's super easy nowadays is what I'm getting at, guys. If you haven't done Gaebolg, or if you're behind on your reinforcement, you don't have plus 12, or if you're not even close, I do recommend doing it because it's so easy and you get a lot of materials for it. I guess I'll pick that buff. And one thing that one thing you can do if you're strong enough is totally skip this boss right here. Once you step on this thing and he spawns in the thing, boom, dead. I don't know. I don't know if you could do that before, but it feels like that thing is broken. But you guys can see, even on the final boss, you used to have to fight like 3 phases of this boss. Now it just kind of goes into the final phase if you do level 4. And that makes it a lot easier because you don't have to do any gimmicks and whatever. But now you can just nuke this guy. It makes this content so much easier than it was before in terms of how much time it takes to do it. Because, yeah, that takes like a minute and a half. So I would consider this something don't skimp out on at all, because it's really easy to do. You can get these energy cores, which you need for the reinforcement, and getting the insignias and all of that, all of the whatever runes that you put into the insignia. Definitely highly recommended. You only have to do it on 1 character, and if you have a strong character, it only takes you like a minute, 2 minutes to do, and you can skip phases. So I highly recommend doing this. Don't just skip this channel out. I do think it is still worth doing, even if you don't, unless you're already done, like I am. I don't think there's anything else I could really use the materials for, but at least you have that going. All right, the other thing I want to talk about, and this is kind of a strategy, okay? I talked a little bit about getting amp gear, right? Well, the best way I have found to get amp gear is actually in the Nobless code. And let me explain how this works, or just show you the strategy, because this is something that is a daily, okay? Hear me now, this is a daily. This is not some weekly thing, but you do need a lot of characters to make this a daily, okay? And how do you do this? Let me explain how this dungeon works. You pick any difficulty, really. I just pick master because I can. You need to formate a team that has an average of whatever, this 27,000 fame. I'm gonna go ahead and have my paladin be one of my characters, kind of to boost my fame. And then what you want to do is on the other characters, you want to select characters that don't have full amps yet. So I actually kind of know these characters down here at the bottom of my character select screen. For instance, this character, as well as my Kunoichi. Yeah, these characters here do not have any amp gear. And the reason for that is we're going to try to farm amp gear selectively by doing Nobless code. And how it works is each character has entry into Nobless code 2 times a week, and it costs 60 FP. When you start the mission, you're going to see right here, it's telling you, there's a time limit. And what you didn't see right there is that it actually gave us this buff right here, which is a terrible, terrible buff. But yeah, we get a bunch more Abyss batteries, which I don't really care for. But what you didn't see is when I started the dungeon, it actually buffed up the dungeon by utilizing a little bit of gold barrels. So you guys can see I actually have gold barrels on hand, a lot of them, and it's used to supercharge and give you a buff of the Nobless code. Now what you're looking for is a buff that can get you more drops of epic. So I'm going to start the mission again. Hopefully I can get it. You guys can see Abyss batteries. Oh, here is a 4 switch equipment from the final boss. More Abyss batteries. Yeah, this is not a good buff. So again, I'm going to abandon, and I just kind of blew 120 FP, but I did attempt to try to get a good buff that makes this run more efficient. You could run the normal Noblesse code if you felt like you know, you didn't want to waste that run. I just kind of feel like it's not as efficient as just, you know, this is a daily. Remember, I don't want to spend all day doing this. It's okay. That character was a bust, but I'm going to go ahead and sign to the other characters and hopefully try to get a new run. Now, the weird thing is I'm noticing that the buffs that I'm getting are odd. They're odd buffs. They're buffs that I've never seen before. So I wonder if they've changed how the system works. But here you guys can see my team is still the same. I've just changed who the leader is. And I think I should have, yeah, I have a couple blue barrels here. I'm going to go ahead and start it again. And, okay, here you go. Selection boss. Oh, I do get a Noblesse epic item from the final boss. This is not that great either. I kind of want, I'm looking for a buff that's going to give me a higher drop chance on mini boss kills. There's a lot of mini bosses that we're killing, and that will make it so that I can get a whole bunch more. See, the selection boxes are not that great. I mean, they're good, obviously, if you're looking for particular epics, but the problem with selection boxes is that they don't come out cursed. Again, the goal is we're trying to make it so that we get cursed gear out of the gear that drops, and unfortunately, whenever it drops from a box, it's never cursed. So we're going to go ahead and switch to another character and keep trying this. And again, I'm wasting a lot of FP. I'm wasting a lot of runs. But it's also something that, you know, I wasn't going to use these characters anyway. I'm just kind of just checking there what they get. I'm trying to see. Still nothing great here. I don't like this final boss epic. Like, it is an extra epic, but you have to go through the whole dungeon to get it, and it's pretty unfortunate. If I don't get a buff, I'm just gonna run it normally. Oh, I don't think this is. Okay, guys, let's go ahead and do this. This is gonna be. This buff is pretty good. Like, we're gonna get 2 extra epics from the final boss, but it's not gonna be. We're not going to get any buffs for any of the mini bosses. Now, of course, I like bringing my paladin into this because it's one of my characters that's extremely strong. And did I pick the wrong one? Yeah, I did. Whoops. Yeah, you want to have a really strong character to kind of carry you through the content. So I of course bring one of my mains and then like 3 sandbags. But okay, it's not that one. One up top there. Yeah. There you go. My goal with this is to pretty much just try to get to each of the to as many mini bosses as I can, whether it's purple or red. It's not a big deal. I like fighting all of the mini bosses because, yeah, there you go. Here's an epic dropped off the walkers right there, and if you can check right here, you can kind of see right there it dropped this cursed. So I picked up a cursed earring. So this is I'm telling you guys, a really efficient way to get a bunch of epics, cursed epics. And the kicker here and why this is so good at getting cursed gear is that you can funnel to exactly who you want to give that epic to. Now, unfortunately, cursed earrings are not that great. You generally want to reinforce your earrings, but this is just an example. If say 2 of the characters already had cursed earrings, I'll just give it to the one that doesn't have one. So it's kind of like a funneling method. I didn't really look at the map there. I should have to see like who's to say this is the best route. But I wouldn't skimp out on the normal enemy mobs, by the way. They do still have a chance of dropping epics. It's not as high, I don't think, but still pretty decent chance of getting epics from there. Fighting the bosses now. I might fast forward this a little bit because this is like really easy content, but again, if your goal is to just get cursed gear, guys, I do recommend just cycling through who gets a good buff. Of course, this is going to be a pretty decent buff for me. you know, but it could be the ones that are really good are like the ones that say 15% extra chance to get an extra epic from mini bosses, because you fight a ton of mini bosses and that could result in a whole lot more chance at getting a, you know, a lot of stuff. But again, it's not guaranteed. It's always RNG, and 15% is not that high. So maybe you think that guaranteed epic at the end is also a viable strategy. In which case, maybe you change your strategy so that you run, so that you just run straight to the end of the boss as fast as possible. Who knows? But again, this is how I've done it. I just got a top to drop, and maybe it's cursed. I'm gonna check it right here again. It's not cursed, unfortunately. But yeah, I went the wrong way, boys. I should have went down. Should have went down. There's too many bosses down instead of the one I went up for. Oh, we got that. I think that's a ring. So yeah, guys, I know Nobless code is a little annoying, but don't sleep on it. I'm telling you right now, do not sleep on it. It's mainly the reason why it's so good is because you can funnel exactly the pieces you want. Unfortunately, when you farm hell modes, you can only get the pieces to drop on the character that you're actually playing, and it could be the case that you just keep getting a ton of amped gear or cursed gear that you already have, you know, and it's a duplicate, and you can't give it to another character like you can in Nobless code. So that's kind of the thing here. We're getting a lot of epics here, and we can funnel them exactly how we want. Fortunately, a lot of them not cursed. So, but yeah, if you're in the business of, I've got a belt right now. If you're in the business of trying to get amp gear in preparation for the next level cap, definitely go out of your way. Do this dungeon every day. I know it's an annoying dungeon. I know it takes some time to do. But again, if you're very selective like I am, and you only run whenever you have a good buff, it's not really you're not gonna run that many times a day. You know, I pretty much skipped out on like 5 different runs I didn't do because I didn't get a great buff. Well, shit. Then you only have to run it a couple times. But yeah, you do have basically 8 attempts because you have 2 times per character. And then for the next day, you know, this is a daily sort of thing, guys. Your team of 4 is a daily. So on the next day, just pick another set of 4 characters. Of course, I can do that because I have a million characters. But if you only have a couple characters, then I recommend just... why didn't he shoot? Then I recommend just actually running the dungeons instead of skipping them over like I did. But I have literally a million characters. I can play 4 characters for every day of the week and, you know, be perfectly fine. So depends on how many characters you have, how many times you can do that. But yeah, just keep in mind 2 times a week that, or yeah, 2 times a week that you're allowed to bring a character into here and run this dungeon. And I do think it is still worth doing for that reason. Getting a lot of epics. That's the other thing, you know, I don't want to really harp on epic souls because we don't know the exchange rate, but you get a lot of epic souls in pretty much any of the content that you do. So if nothing else, you're getting epic souls, and just think of epic souls as like another way of being able to run the hell mode once a new level cap comes. Again, we don't know exactly the exchange rate, but just keep that in mind. You know, when you get a random epic souls, just disassemble it. It's good because you're gonna need those next level cap just to get that little bit ahead. But again, that's not the reason why we're doing this content. We're definitely doing it only for funneling cursed gear onto specific slots of gear for all of these characters that don't have amps yet. So again, we get a lot of events that give amp grimoire, so this is mostly something I've been using for my alts, and they're the additional epics that we got because of the buff. Ton of epics, so you guys can see we got a ton. Let's see how many of them showed up cursed. Hopefully a few of them. Yeah, I got a cursed ring. I've got a cursed sub-equipment. I got a cursed earring. So the cool thing is you get to see your entire gear set. Of course, my paladin has everything cursed already. But then I can look. Okay, does this guy have a cursed earring? No. This guy does, though. Oh, wait, that's my... Sorry. My paladin already has a bunch of cursed gear. Actually, I'm looking at this character. This character has some cursed gear already. Yeah, she has a cursed magic stone and a bracelet. So maybe I want to funnel onto my DT a little bit and get her closer to finishing. So I can get her a cursed ring. She doesn't have a cursed sub-equipment. Here's a cursed sub-equipment. And, I mean, earring. Earring's kind of a hit or miss, but yeah, why not? I'm going to funnel everything on that one character and try to finish her off because I know those are the pieces that she has that are not yet cursed. And then, of course, everything else is just kind of for epic soul purposes. So yeah, I'm just going to distribute it like that. So in that one run, guys, I was able to get 3 cursed gears that this character didn't have already. So I think that's a really good haul right there. And you just distributed like freaking 10 epic souls to each of these characters once you disassemble them and move the curse gear. So I do think that was a very successful run, and why I like doing that. If you wanted to be really efficient, you would run all of the runs no matter what buff you get. But I do, you know, in my case, I'm very liberal on my usage of that. If they don't have a good buff, I don't run them. Basically, that's how I look at it. If they don't have a good buff, it ain't even worth my time. You know, but I'm going to go ahead and look at my Kunoichi. If she gets a good buff, I'll run it. But aside from that, guys, just keep in mind 2 entries per week. Utilize your whole account. Try to get as many characters as you can in amp gear, because I think that's something that's going to be pretty standard here nowadays, because we've had so many opportunities to get a lot of different curse gear in the game. And I do think this is one of the best ways to get it, in my opinion. Oh, this one is a good buff, man. All right, we got to get this one. So we're going to get a guaranteed one from the final boss, guys. And then there's the 15% chance from any mini boss as well. We're going to run this one too. And if there's anybody out there doubting the efficacy of this strategy, guys, I have you know that I have pretty much amped almost every character on my account. Only the people at the bottom of my character select screen, like the bottom 20 characters, do not have full amps, guys. I have amped pretty much everybody else, every slot. By doing stuff like this. I haven't even been that diligent about it, but doing stuff like this has definitely made it possible to amp every character on the account effortlessly. You know, not having to have to spend that much money on it. You know, like, yeah, I'm not gonna actually amp them, but at least they have the cursed gear and they're ready for it if I decide to do it. So, all right, so there's a run. Not as quick as the other stuff, but only about 5 minutes, and I was kind of explaining some stuff there. So 5 minutes per any good run that you get. Let's see how many curse gears we got. Oh, we got 1. We did get 1 curse gear. Now, I forgot if I gave a curse gear already to my Templar, which I don't think I did. I sure hope I didn't. But we got at least 1. Unfortunately, not as lucky in the other ones, but hey, here's a bunch of epic souls to go along with it. So, boom, 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 and get a box too. There you go. So, yeah, I mean, I think this is a fantastic way to get a bunch of curse gear, guys, and try to funnel them onto characters that could use them. Because right now, my Dark Templar right now has a bunch of exactly 4 that I can use now. Curse gears on my gear, and I'm going to be ready. Next level cap, I'm going to be ready. At least I'm going to have my curse gears ready to go. I do highly recommend. By the way, I do recommend moving them onto the gear ASAP, because the next time you try to do this, you're going to feel really bad if you have it in your inventory and you transfer it to the character unknowingly that you already had it. So I'm going to try to utilize some of the Neo Premium coins that they've been giving us. These ones right here. Anything to do with the amping system, by the way, I would utilize the Neo Premium coins. Go ahead and open up the vending machine and do some draw 10s, because what you can get is some other purification scrolls and stuff like that. Conversion spells you're going to need a lot of. You're definitely going to need some items to work this, but here it is right here. So we're going to go ahead and purify like the shoes, for instance, and see what stat we get out of it. Purge, and then we got int already, so we don't have to convert that one, but we do need another. Go ahead and keep rolling for some more purification scrolls. Not getting very lucky there. There's another one right there, so highly recommend doing this. Yet another reason why I'd recommend just having the Neo Premium Plus token. It's really useful. This one showed up as int too, so we're getting really lucky there. And there's another scroll. Okay, we're going to use the ring. And unfortunately that was spirit, so we're going to go ahead and use a conversion spell that we got here to convert that to int. And it's clear they've changed a lot of how this works. Even that graphic is all changed. And then we're going to go ahead and use the inheritance system to just inherit the amp onto it. Now it will mention that I already have an enchant on it. Trust me, the amp is more important than the enchant, because we could just use the blue barrels to get better enchant. So I didn't even have an enchant on this one, so yeah, we can replace the enchant really cheaply. Can't do so on the amps. And just like that, I'm not going to do the earring because the earring, you definitely want to reinforce that instead of trying to amp that. But hell, mine's not even reinforced. But yeah, there you go. So that's how you do this, guys. Go ahead and try to build up a sizable amount of amp gear on your characters. Very useful for the next level cap. Alrighty, guys, so we're gonna move on to the next thing that I do recommend doing as a daily, or this would be a weekly in this case, and that is the Verge of Recollection. And mainly this has to go back to that first point that I talked about. This is kind of a way to build up some white ocean coins. It's not that effective, but I do think it is worth doing, at least on your strong characters. It only takes 30 FP, and on your strong characters, it is going to be pretty quick to do as well. Now, you guys can see they do have a synchronization system. Personally, I don't think it's worth the 500 Pale Mist. It could get up to 2,000 Pale Mist if you were to upgrade them. I like going in and synchronization 0, just because, again, I think the Pale Mists are more useful as the Epic Souls that they could be. Remember, it's 170 Epic Souls to, or sorry, 170 Pale Mist to 1 Epic Soul. So do highly think that is more beneficial than just the direct conversion or whatever you're gonna get as reward from upgrading that. You know, the synchronization is just not that good, not that worth it in my opinion. But on this character, it's gonna be a short work of pretty much all this content. And I did want to showcase, you know, this is after the patch that they have updated the female fighters. You guys can see my female fighter does look a little bit different. I do like the new body type, although I'm a little bit, I'm not too sold yet on the face. I think they might have nerfed my face a little bit, but you know, I've gotten used to it already. It looks pretty cool. I love the new body type. Definitely more slim and taller. So it looks like she's standing up more upright than she was before, so that's cool. I like getting the pirate buff because the other ones just are not as useful. You can get a huge burst of damage on the final boss if you just get the full pirate buff. So. There we go. Just not gonna bother. And yeah, you can see like really short work of each of these bosses. Kind of showcase like maybe you don't find this to be all that worth it. But in which case you just don't do it. But again, it gives me an excuse to play some of my stronger characters. So looking here, boom, 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 and down. And here's the drop right here. 4 coins. I do think it is worth the 1 minute, maybe 2 minutes it takes to run this dungeon. Yeah, it's 4 coins, 2 minutes. If I can run it on each of the characters, and you do get a sizable amount of the dimensional stones as well. I do think it is worth doing that on my characters, but again, if you don't think that's worth it, again, you can probably get 4 coins in a couple runs of hell mode. But the nice thing is this stuff is free, so it is something that you could do as a daily, you know, but 4 coins per character, maybe you think that's too much work. I do think it is worth taking a few seconds to do this on my main characters. Again, we're only really talking the ones that can do that within less than 2 minutes. Something that I would recommend doing. Alrighty, now there is one bit of content that I forgot to do in the initial recording. I'm going to add it somewhere in, but I do think this is maybe more important than the Verge of Recollection. Okay, this dungeon I think is extremely efficient for farming the White Cloud or White Ocean coins, because you can actually get several per dungeon, and there are actually 3 dungeons in Dusky. So I do think I recommend farming Dusky. Another reason why you want to farm Dusky, by the way, guys, every week is because, of course, it's easy now. We're really overgeared for it, but you also do get this material right here, this purple malefic energy, and you can use that to buy custom epic boxes and of course get more epic souls that way. So this is a really good dungeon. I haven't done it on this character. I'm playing this character because I unfortunately have used all my main characters, which are much stronger, but this character should still be able to make short work of this dungeon. I'm 63k fame on my second hunter, so this should still be pretty easy to run on level 4. And again, like I said, you still get a ton of White Cloud every dungeon. So you get epics, you get White Cloud stuff, and then yeah, just a ton of resources for doing this in terms of the time that you have to spend to do it as well. So I do think it is worth doing that. I've jumped out of the way. I'm not really going to showcase this because I've already showcased my hunter doing this dungeon, my stronger hunter doing this dungeon, making very short work of it. But I did want to showcase the reward so you guys can see. Here's the white ocean coins. Get 3 of them from just this one dungeon, and you have the 2 others as well. But then you also got that malefic energy as well that you can use to get that box to get more epic souls. This is just an all-around extremely time-efficient dungeon. I highly recommend doing Dusky. This weekly is probably like more important than Verge of Recollection. It takes a little bit more time than that dungeon, but it's far more efficient in terms of what you get out of the time that you're spending doing it. So at least I'm going to showcase. I don't want to spend again all this time showcasing this content, but at least want to showcase the rewards that you get. All right, cleared another boss, got another 4, and a bunch of malefic energies as well. This is super efficient, guys. Even on my less than ideal characters, like I have much stronger characters than this, but I still recommend doing this on like, if you're about 62 or so, 63k fame, this should take you a couple minutes for all 3 bosses. Holy shit! Okay. Wow, that was really badly timed. That 2-way, I used that a little bit. That was good. That was good. I planned it. Yeah, only a couple minutes on the final boss too. Got an epic there. Got 2 extra coins. Got 6 extra coins. Guys, this is so efficient. I would say this is probably the most important weekly to do if you're trying to only focus on the next level cap. And I can't believe I forgot to talk about it. It's because I've done most of these, like, unfortunately I didn't plan on making this video till the end of the week. I'd already done most of my dailies already. I got to add this in the video. This is super important, and hell, every month you also get an extra amount of floating stones, as well as this a treachery box as well. Super efficient. Highly recommend to do every single week, as well as White Cloud Valley. I'd say Dusky Island as well as the White Cloud Valley are the 2 dungeons I highly recommend doing for the white coins. You could do Force of Awakening on maybe level 3. Don't do level 4 because that takes so long, but maybe level 3 would be good enough. But definitely these 2 in terms of time efficiency. White Cloud Valley, Dusky, and Verge of Recollection if you want, but definitely these 2 at least. Okay, but guys, I think that about covers all of the special things that I think are worth still doing. Right here, you guys can see we still have Exile Mountains that can get your talismans. I don't think it's worth doing. They're going to be removing the talisman system, and currently you can actually buy talismans from the Mileage shop and runes to go with it, so they're really cheap. You guys can see 20 and 10 respectively. So I don't even recommend doing Exile at any time. So really, I just wanted to talk about Nobless code. It's still worth doing for amps. One of the best ways to get amps on your alts. Gaebolg is still worth doing if you want to try to optimize your insignia before the patch. And then this is a kind of slight but free way of getting some white cloud coins, which you're definitely going to want for these 2 items is here. The rest of the time that I would spend on a character signed in is just in the regular channel, guys. Make sure you go to a channel that has a disassembler, because you're going to be going through a lot of hell modes on a lot of your characters, and you're just going to go run those 2 runs of hell modes and then disassemble any epics that you don't need, and that's going to take a lot of time. Basically what I do is I hover over characters that still have their dailies. You guys can still see here I have 4 out of 4 dailies I haven't done, and just go ahead and go through the whole list of them of characters that need to do that. You guys can see this one needs to run 2 runs of hell mode, and so that's what I'm gonna do. The one thing I want to recommend for farming hell modes, I'm going to just spend a little bit of time doing that. There's a couple things. First and foremost, guys, I do highly recommend putting on your hotkey bar this right here. It is the Forward Movers Mindset, the explosive type small tactical flare. And what I've done, I've actually upgraded it to the Seon upgraded version. Just left click it and upgrade it to the 110 version. The reason for that is if you do that, you can still have access to your max level traits. If you don't do that, then you will actually kind of disable your traits because you don't have enough points for it. So just a slight tip for that. Make sure you equip that. That makes your runs way more smooth in here. You guys can see this run, I am able to kind of traverse the entire map with like 2 skills, and that's all because I have so much increased move speed. So I have this on every single one of my characters on my account. It is one of those types of items. It's so good, it's worth getting on everybody. You guys can see 2 runs of that, and then I can do the gift right here. Hell, here, take one of these. And then boom, boom. And next character. And again, you'll see this character also has the explosive type small tactical flare. Oh, here's a good example. Okay, so this character right here, you guys can see I've utilized every point of my trait point system. And when I equip this earring right here and I look at my sub traits, you'll see that my powerful blow has been disabled because I don't have enough trait points to enable it. And so that's all solved very easily. All you got to do is click this. Unfortunately, it's locked, so I gotta unlock it. Hold up. I had to unlock it, but you guys can see right here, if I left click it and I go to upgrade level 110 equipment, it's very cheap to do, but once you do, now it will be a Seon upgraded equipment. And now, again, you can use this without destroying your sub traits. You guys can see here, I still have my 35% extra damage for running content. So, boom. Same kind of deal though. Again, pick up your freebie, change this quest. I'm gonna change this one too. Boom, and then we just gotta do 2 optimal dungeons. You can see how much faster you are while you have those on. A couple other things that I like doing in these hell runs. Try to find a good rotation, guys. Try to find a good rotation when you're doing hell modes. I guess this kind of happens naturally while you're doing them, but don't be scared to use your backstep, okay? This is something I really learned a lot after farming C4. Dusky definitely teaches you how to use your backstep. Okay, so don't sit there and wait for animations to finish, guys. In the middle of the animation, cancel it. Once you get the big hit, use your backstep and cancel it to backstep in any direction you want. If you hold, even if you're facing forward, if you hold down back, you will backstep forward in the forward direction, and obviously can both cancel an animation and move you forward a little bit. Something that all of my characters basically have run so many hells. I have rotations pretty much for everybody, so it's something that you're just gonna do if you've done enough hell mode. But also be careful, don't just run into hell mode like I'm doing right here. Make sure that you actually have 2 quests that will be completed, and it can be done very quickly, guys. So I mean, I say I have rotations, but it's a little slow, but you know, spice it up. Maybe you need to, like, that was terrible. Oh, you got a piece right here, a couple epics right there, and boom, boom. I'm not even gonna look at what they are. I already know I have it already. So 4 epic souls right there, and we also get a ton of these as well. So something I still recommend doing. White Cloud Valley, definitely worth doing. Daily, it's so fast now. Again, your fame is probably way overkill for how strong or how fast it is to do, and I definitely recommend still doing it because you do get a lot of White Cloud tokens. Maybe one of my characters hasn't done it yet, so I can showcase. Yeah, this character hasn't done it. I can showcase. There is an option now to use your Pale Mist to upgrade the run. Here's the 900 Pale Mist. You do get some extra coins out of it. It's just, do you think that those coins are worth the 900 Pale Mist? Maybe you do. I'm gonna go ahead and spend it right now. Maybe it is worth it, but it is only a couple extra coins. Oh, we get 10 extra coins in this case. I do think that number changes, so maybe you think 10 extra coins is worth it, then go for it. Again, it's all to how many coins you actually have yourself. So, but you guys can see this character is pretty strong. Not the strongest character I got, definitely, but pretty strong. Can handle each of these mini bosses within a couple seconds. So, definitely something that you can breeze through if you're. If you got a lot of characters that are strong, you know, why not? And again, if you don't think that, it all depends on how good the exchange rate is on the Epic Souls. Like, maybe it is going to be better to get the coins right now, especially if you don't have a lot of content that you're doing. Like, maybe you're not doing a lot of hell modes, so you can't get the 400 coins that you can get weekly. Then maybe getting the coins here would be worth it. You know, but I do feel like I'm doing enough content. Oh, what? I didn't do that. I feel like I am doing enough content to warrant me not having to use that many Pale Mist. It would be tens of thousands of Pale Mists if I did on every one of my characters. So I don't know if it's, again, I have no idea. Maybe you guys tell me what your best course, what the best course of action is. Like, maybe you guys are like, no, you got to use a Pale Mist every week. I don't know. Here, canceling everything. I'm gonna just boom. I'm not even bother you. I could use the awakening here, but dude, just die. Okay. So yeah, I got 25 coins. That is a huge amount of coins. Do that every week for sure. Unfortunately, I couldn't show that off today because most of my characters have already done it. But yeah, I got 10 extra coins. Normally I'd get 15, but I got the 10 extra because of the 1,000 Pale Mist. Maybe that is worth it. Hell, I'm not too sure. Now I'm starting to second guess myself, but I do have enough for next week. And yeah, maybe that is worth it on every one of my characters that can do it. And I have a ton. I have more than 20 characters that can do master difficulty like really easily. So maybe it is worth it. Who knows? But anyway, guys, I think I've been talking enough. The rest of the stuff is more weekly type of stuff. There is one last thing I will talk about, and that is going to be the Asrahan hard mode. Well, guys, I think that about covers everything I wanted to talk to about account dailies. Currently, I'm doing Asrahan hard. I'm still doing that, although, you know, that's not... You know, the purpose of this video is stuff that I would kind of recommend still doing in preparation for the next level cap. This stuff is still kind of this level cap relevant stuff, which, of course, if you're still playing DFO, you want to try to make your character stronger. And, of course, this is the kind of stuff that you should be doing. But if you're trying to focus on preparing for the next level cap, if you want to take it really easy in DFO, like a lot of people are, trust me, a lot of people are just like, screw it, I'm just going to wait for the next level cap. Then all of the stuff I mentioned before about the amps, about the... you know, farming the white cloud tokens, that is where you really want to be focusing your effort on. This stuff right here, I mean, I'm still doing it, of course, because I've been playing this whole level cap, might as well do it, but again, if you want to try to be optimized with your time resources, definitely make sure you at least do all of that previous stuff before you start looking at this optimization stuff, because this stuff definitely takes more time, takes more effort, and maybe won't be as useful as the other stuff is. So I still like doing it. I'm still enjoying playing DFO, even if it's pretty, I don't want to say dead, but it's pretty, a lot of people are waiting for the next level cap. Let's put it that way, guys. I know a lot of you guys are doing it. Raise your hand if you're one of them. I know a lot of people are just kind of waiting for the next level cap. I get it, but there's still a lot of stuff you can be doing in the meantime. Even if it doesn't include this endgame stuff, then hell, it's all the stuff I talked about in this video. Hopefully this video is helpful, and hopefully you guys are excited for the next level cap as much as I am, because I'm still preparing, guys. I'm still preparing, and hopefully by the end of, you know, before the level cap comes out, I'll be able to buy at least all the things in the white cloud coin shop, be able to capitalize on all of that stuff. Like, for instance, getting my full... pink swap set. That thing is so good. I actually have it completed on this character, but I want to complete it on all of my characters, because this is really good, you know, the Dark Warped Abyss stuff, and that's something that's really easy if you capitalize on this. I want to get that enchant too. But anyway, guys, thanks for watching. This is kind of a long-winded video, but hey, there's still stuff to be doing in DFO, and hopefully this video has been able to show that even some of the older content is still worth doing. But anyway, guys, thanks for watching. Knights, be gone.